So continuing on with Z-spheres, let's go ahead and add some wings to this guy. So what I'm going to do is append a Z-sphere. I'm going to grab the Z-sphere, and I'm going to hit X to go across the X-axis because it would be symmetrical. And I'm going to turn on transparency, and I'm going to move this inside his body, and I'm going to scale it. I'm going to hit E and then W, move and scale it inside his body. So if I turn off transparency, I can't see it. If I turn it on, I can see it again, and now I can start adding wings to this guy. So I'm going to hit Q to go into draw mode. I'm going to drag this out, and you're going to notice as I drag out, it's actually going to snap to visible geo. That's actually a feature, and I can use that to my advantage. So it's going to snap to the outside of his body. I'm just going to have his wings start here. So I need an anchor point because I don't want to append a Z-sphere and mirror it. I'm just going to start with this anchor point here, and I can get rid of this later. And I'm going to drag out. So his wings are basically going to start here. So I'm going to turn off transparency, kind of put his Z-spheres in there, and then I'm going to go into draw mode, drag this out, and I'm going to turn off polyframe here. And I'm going to drag this out, and we'll give him some wings here, and go into draw mode, and drop these down. So here's his basic wings, and we can, fill this in any number of ways later. But this is basically what his wings are going to look like. So again, if we hit Q and we just tap in here, we can draw, we can move stuff out once we tap in there. If we want to add, we can click and drag on a Z-sphere and then move it down and around. If you decide, oh, you know what, I didn't want to add this one, all you need to do is hold down Alt, well, be in draw mode, and then hold down Alt and tap, and that'll delete Z-spheres. Or again, you can just click in here and draw them, and then you can move these around. Q, W, move these around, get the look you're going for. So if we hit A, this is our adaptive skin. Here's our polyframe of that adaptive skin. If we go down to our adaptive skin menu, we can drop that density down to 1, or you can crank it up to 3 if you want to. I'm going to change it to 1. This is looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead. It looks more like antennas or anything or something, but we're going to start with this. I like this one, so what I'm going to do is go to adaptive skin, make adaptive skin. And again, this is just a Z-sphere. If I hit A, I got my Z-spheres back, and I can edit them if I want to. My actual skin Z-sphere geo is up here. So what I need to do is go ahead and either append or insert. I'll just go ahead and append. The difference between append and insert is append will throw it at the very bottom no matter how many subtools you have. Insert will insert it right underneath the selected subtool. So in this case, I'm just going to hit append, grab that skin Z-sphere. It's going to throw it right here at the bottom. So we've got our Z-sphere, and then we've got our skin Z-sphere. The Z-sphere I don't really need anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And we've got our skin Z-sphere here now. So now we have 2 subtools. We can tap on this one, we can tap on this one, or alternatively, what I like to do is just hold down Alt and tap in the document to select. And you're going to want to hit X on this subtool right here in order to, modify it across symmetry here. And if I go into solo mode and turn on polyframe, you're going to notice that this little piece right here, I don't really need that piece. So I can isolate it by holding down Control-Shift and tapping it. And then if I Control-Shift-Drag, that'll invert that selection. I can go to Geometry, Modify Topology. I can delete Hidden, so it'll delete that hidden geo. And now I can just go ahead and close holes, and that'll close the holes. And now I've got 2 little stumps that come out of his back, little antenna or whatever. So let's say I want to start sculpting. So the first thing I'm going to do is move these into his back. I'm going to hit go to Alt-W, which is my shortcut for the Move tool, and I can kind of move these in. If I want to, I can go to the Inflate brush and kind of inflate these out. And while it's, pretty low res, I can go ahead and go to Preferences, Edit, Align Cursor Surface. I can go ahead and move these into place, like so if I want to. While I have this low res geo, same thing on the body. I just Alt-clicked them there. And while I've got this low res geo, I can kind of start manipulating these big points to kind of refine. So while you're doing organic stuff, this is a pretty good way to kind of go in and make very quick refinements just based on your low-res geo. Or you can inflate the joints here, whatever you want to do. Move this hand up and around, or inflate it up, or any low-res movement sculpting you want to do. And once you're happy with this, what you can do is start subdividing to add detail. Now, right now, the geometry isn't super even. You've got really low poly here, and it's kind of getting a little high poly down around the fingers. Not a huge deal. You can go into Dynamesh and even this all out. Or, if you want to refine as you go to your geometry menu, and just for the time being, if I hit divide, or Control-D, that's going to divide your mesh, but did you see how I kind of melted when I did that? If you want to avoid that, you can turn off the smooth modifier, hit divide, and if I go into polyframe, you're going to see it divided it. It looks like it didn't, but if you hold down shift to smooth, you can kind of smooth this out as you go. If it's smoothing a little bit strong, you can hold down shift and drag that Z intensity down, and that'll give you a little less of an effect. And now you've got this low res geo, you can kind of start manipulating these points, and then as you're happy with this, you can hit Control D. If you want to turn the smooth modifier on, it won't melt it as much, and now you can kind of start sculpting, you know, with your standard brush. Turn off lazy mouse, turn up that Z intensity. You can start sculpting with your standard brush to kind of block out your forms, go into here the move brush and start moving this stuff around, you know, getting your shapes and stuff in there. So, or a clay brush, you know, to start building up your masses. And this is probably the fastest way to kind of start dialing in what you need for your human here. It's just clay brush, standard brush, smooth brush, just to kind of start blocking this in. So if we go back to our reference here, I'm going to hit Z and hit Z again. So here's our reference. I can use this. I can also do this see-through if I've got reference back here and I've only got one monitor. Generally speaking, I've got reference up on my other monitors. Or you can also, what's really valuable is doing stuff like you can go to 1024 and grab these scan models. So you've got your reference here from 1024 or 3dsK, and you can also grab a scan model. And actually 3dsK also provides scan models here. You can probably see if you scroll down, you know, you can get scan models from them. So you can bring these in and you can start seeing exactly, you know, where the anatomy lines up, how far back, you know, the clavicle goes, that type of stuff, where your landmarks need to go. So you can use this as reference as well, and you can kind of line that up with your base model here. So between scan data reference and photo reference, you should be able to have a pretty good idea of what you need to do to kind of get your geometry now sculpted out to match the base mesh that you want to make.